This and that. Who's that guy? The words this and that in Chinese are 这 and 那. This is how you pronounce these two characters if you were going to say something like, this is my friend, 这是我的朋友, or that is my teacher, 那是我的老师. If you want to say a phrase like this girl or that teacher, though, we need to learn a couple more things first. The first important thing we need to learn is this concept of measure words. So a measure word, I'll give an example in English here. A cup of water. Water is the word, the noun we're talking about, but that phrase, a cup of, is kind of like a measure word in Chinese. So we're talking about the water, the shape it takes, and kind of the form that it's in. So this container forms something that sort of measures the water. So a cup of water. You can imagine there'll also be a cup of something else, for example, a cup of soda. So cup, in this sense, is kind of like this concept of measure word. You can probably think of some other containers that might serve to measure things, like, for example, a bag of rice or a carton of eggs. When I say that, you have an idea in your mind of what that looks like. It's not just the rice, it's a bag of rice. It tells you something about it. In Chinese, there are measure words that are not just limited to containers for things. There are words that kind of say a unit of for all different things. For example, people. So it would be hard for us to think of one in English. We don't really do this in English, but in Chinese, there are measure words for things like this. A cup of water would be 一杯水. A cup of Coca-Cola would be 一杯可乐. And a person would be 一个人. That word that I just said, 个, is the most common measure word that there is. 一个人. 个 is kind of the standard measure word for a lot of different generic things. There are other measure words out there, but we'll get into them later. For now, we're going to focus on 个. If you want to say 3 friends, you would say 三个朋友. 10 students, 10个学生. 4 Americans, 4个美国人. 2 Chinese people, 2个中国人. So you'll notice that this is pretty simple. You just say the number, 个, and then the thing. But there's one exception. For 2 of something, instead of saying 二, in this case we say 两. So 两个中国人 is kind of like a pair of Chinese people. So two Chinese people, 两个中国人. All right. So this same concept of a measure word, so for example, 个 can also be used to say this person, this girl, that guy, things like that. So we use those same characters, 这 and 那. 这 and then the measure word and then the noun, or 那 and then the measure word and then the noun. When you put it together with a measure word, these characters have 2 different possible pronunciations. The word for this, it can be pronounced 这 or 这, and the word for 那, the word for that can be pronounced 那 or 那. Either one is acceptable. So if you had to say this person is awesome, you'd say 这个人很牛. Or that guy would be 那个男孩子. You can put it in a sentence like this. Who is that girl? You would say 那个女孩子是谁?